Welcome to Offensive, where we're good for about 5 minutes a season, just like JJ McCarthy. So we've had a wild weekend of NFL week dose. Okay, tears, cheers, all the things, fears. If you're a Vikings fan, we're gonna review and go around and talk about our favorite games from the weekend in this first segment of Weekend Roundup with Chief.
Yesterday was a fantastic day. It was almost record-setting up until Sunday Night Football. It was the second most points that had been scored in NFL history on a Sunday. So, of course, that meant that there was going to be a clunker on Sunday night that was going to be basically all field goals until they said, okay, go on through so we can try to score 16 points. But a lot of excitement. Offenses didn't look quite as clean as they did in week one overall, but there was some real fireworks out there. So, Derek, what do you have any apologies for any fan bases out there?
I'm not apologizing to anybody. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, I'm taking my victory lap here to kick off the show.
Yeah. No, I literally picked the Colts to finish with like a top 5 draft pick. Now, there's a lot of games left, but I got to tell you, after the first 2 games, they look a heck of a lot better than I thought they would. I thought Daniel Jones was toast. It just goes to show you how bad Anthony Richardson is, I guess, because they look really good.
They have not really punted yet at all.
And this is Denver.
NFL record.
And I realize it's early in the season, but Denver was good last year, and they got better. So at least on defense, at least that's the theory. Now, defense back and forth can have a little bit of variation, but they pretty much did what they want on Denver. Jonathan Taylor was running all over them. Daniel Jones is making good plays. So, like, yeah, Colts, dude, I'm interested now, okay? I still don't know how good you are, but I know you're not bad. So that's a good sign. So that was the
Daniel
first
Jones is a top 4 quarterback right now for EPA.
I mean, Indiana Jones is a real thing. It's happening. It's happening.
He's a number 2 quarterback in a 6-point TD league for our league.
I know.
So.
That's insane. Anyone who kept Daniel Jones on their team, you're an idiot, but now you're a genius. So
well, did you see who the 2 passing leaders are?
For yardage,
it's Russell Wilson.
Russ and Daniel Jones.
Russ and Daniel Jones. It's week 2, everybody. Don't freak out, okay? Don't freak out.
That's a part of the fun, though.
Man, it's been crazy. No wonder I'm 0-2 in fantasy. Everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. All right. So here's my other thing too that I noticed this weekend. So I've got Joe Burrow on my fantasy team. Of course, he gets hurt because that's what happens to me. But I've got Browning, his backup, who came in through 3 interceptions. But dude, the Bengals won, and they're 2-0, and they are 2 of the ugliest wins I've ever seen. But you know what? 2 wins are 2 wins. And
they usually start slow. So for them, this is amazing.
I think with Browning in there, I mean, they're not going to win as many games as they should, but I feel like Browning's going to win them a couple.
What if they win more games than they did last year with him in? They could.
I think they should. Honestly, Browning, if he goes 500, let's say he plays 8 games, right? Because Joe Burrow's going to be out roughly 3 months, maybe 2 months. We'll see. So let's say he plays 10 or 11 games and he wins 5 or 6 of those. That's 7 wins. Joe Burrow comes back for the last 5 games. If he wins 3 or 4 of those, I mean, they could definitely get in the playoffs. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I think the Bengals still have a shot here.
They're going to be hanging around.
Yeah, and they should not trade for Kirk Cousins either, by the way.
I heard a rough stat, though, on the footballers. There's been 25 players that have had this surgery on turf toe in a season. 25 of them, none of them have come back that season.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And 5 of them had to walk away. 5 of them weren't able to come back from it. Obviously, Joe's young enough to where he's going to be able to come back, but it's
right. And
3 months might be an aggressive timeline.
I think he does less cutting. I mean, he's running around trying to get out in the pocket, but his speed and agility isn't necessarily like his go-to. So
with that line,
a quarterback might be able to navigate that kind of injury a little better. But dude, Joe's been injured a lot. Who knows, man? Who knows?
Maybe they should get some offensive linemen over there.
Maybe.
Well, I also want to say, look at the other side of that game. The Bengals were down by 7. Their backup comes in and he throws 3 interceptions, and they still come back to beat the Jags.
Yeah.
Way to go, Trevor.
Well, I mean, the Jags put up some points. It's not like they did terrible. It's just
Trevor likes throwing picks in the end zone. That's all I got to say.
Dude, the Bengals offense is still good. I mean, what did Chase have? 17 targets, 14 receptions, and like 168 yards. Like,
he's always open.
You still can't cover Jamar Chase.
He's always open.
So, yeah, I mean, dude, Go Bengals. I want to see the Bengals still make the playoffs, even if it is with Browning. So let's see what happens. All right. So on to you, Hype. What'd you like this weekend?
So the Eagles and the Chiefs are beatable. Watching that game, the Chiefs' only offense, even though they have played two pretty decent teams, Chiefs' only offense is Patrick Mahomes basically scrambling and throwing desperation throws for his life. Now, he is good at those things. He is good at, like, you know, every time he's like, oh, the game's going to be over, and he throws like a 45-yard bomb, some guy's randomly wide open, right? It happens a lot. But I don't think the Chiefs and the Eagles are like an echelon above people at this point. I think the Eagles are also beatable. Like, even their D-line didn't even play that well for the Eagles. The Eagles didn't grade out that well. Barkley didn't even play that well. Maybe it's just an off game for the Eagles. But I watched that game and I look at all the analysis of it, and they just didn't look like Super Bowl teams to me. Like, either of them did in that game, really. And sometimes that happens early in the season, and maybe later in the season it'll be better. But who on the Chiefs of their weapons really scares anybody? Okay, maybe Xavier or whatever, isn't it? Whatever, the fast guy a little bit
Xavier
when he comes back.
He's on your squad, son. Don't hate.
He's on my team, but I'd never play him because he is so hit or miss. So that's the whole point. Is like there's even Kelsey's dropping easy passes now and stuff and making mistakes, even though, you know, quote unquote, he's not thinking about Happy Gilmore or whatever. I'm pretty sure he was thinking about, you know, somebody, but Taylor, but the Eagles and Chiefs game, none of that scares me at all in any possible way. If I'm playing against them, you know, maybe the Eagles just had an off game, but I think that the Eagle is wide open for who's going to go to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
The Chiefs defense, the Chiefs cornerbacks even graded really well against the Eagles receivers. The Eagles receivers are not getting any. How are AJ Brown and these guys not getting 100 yards a game? Is there some like juju going on or something? I don't know what it is, but like the Eagles offense, this is the theory that somebody has, is that Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback. He's a great running guy. He's a great scrambler, but how in the world, when you have two like wide receiver one, maybe one of the top three receivers in the league, and another guy who's good, you can't throw the ball at all. Like, what's happening there? So
coordinator matters.
Well,
coordinators do matter.
But dude, Jalen Hurts had 3,200 yards last year. He did not have a lot of passing yards. That's not his game. Yeah. Like, dude, playoff Jalen Hurts is a different guy than regular season Jalen Hurts. Like, regular season Jalen Hurts is an above average quarterback that runs really well. Like you said, in the playoffs, he somehow turns it on and finds a way. But like, yeah, he was like 25th last year or 26th last year in like total passing yards, and he played every game. It was, that's just not what he does until they play the Chiefs, apparently. So, which I'm fine with. But here's, dude. Okay, can I say something else about this game? Patrick Mahomes is on pace to rush for 1,000 yards, okay? and pass for 2,000. So yeah, it's not looking good. And Kelsey should catch that. He's a Hall of Famer. But I gotta say, if you watch the replay, Patrick Mahomes puts it far and out and down. Like, that's not an accurate pass that close to the goal line. Like, Patrick also should have put that. Like, there's about 1.5 feet where that ball should have been here, and that's an easy touchdown. Now, Kelsey should still catch it. His hands hit it. He's a Hall of Famer. But that was not a great pass. So there's some part of that's on Patrick as well. That's not 100% Kelsey, because Kelsey had to reach, and he reached out and it just hit his hand in the wrong spot, because it's in an awkward spot for him to catch it. It's not where he should be catching it, which is here. So just saying, thanks for throwing that, Patrick. That was a great play.
Well, their mystique's falling apart. They're just having lots of mistakes, and they could clean it up a little bit. But the thing is that, like, yeah, they are good at making these like little clutch plays. But other than that, like, they don't scare anybody. And last year they won all those games mostly because their defense was elite. Their defense was super good and would just keep them in games all the time. But this year, I don't think that's the case anymore.
They were 9-0 in 1-score games last year, I want to say. Does that sound right? I feel like just off the top of my head, it was almost 9 or 10
every game
games.
was close, I think.
They were winning all the close games. Now they're losing them. Dude, that stuff tends to balance out. Remember the Vikings 3 years ago when they won like 7 or 8 1-score games, and then they lost 7 1-score games? Like, that stuff evens out, man.
Raiders going to win the division.
That was when they lost to Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
they're like 13-3 that year. And my wife and her entire family, like, they're the playoffs are coming, Giants are coming. They're like, no, have you watched us?
Yeah. All right. Well, we've talked enough about those two teams. Chief, what'd you like this weekend, man?
Cowboys, baby.
Cowboys.
If you want to play fantasy football, go for a team that has no defense.
Dude.
Go for a team that gets rid of their best pass rusher. It's a beautiful thing.
But what's going on with George Pickens? He's like wide receiver 4 now, I think, on the team.
Dude, and I sat him this week, so I was like, oh, the Giants defense is good. I don't need to
Yeah.
play George Pickens, and he, of course, did perfectly well. So
Right.
whatever.
But he's still his
Yeah.
targets. He's still the fourth receiver on the team between two other guys, the tight
Yeah,
end,
the
another
tight
tight
end.
end, then George Pickens.
Yeah. Well, you got to throw to Ferguson. I mean, Barry Alvarez Jr., baby. Like, you got to throw to Ferguson.
Fergie's
right?
going to be a top 7 or 8 tight end this year. Now.
Yeah, he's been good. He was hurt last year, and so, but he was a top 10.
But like
tight
you
end the year
said, just
before
be on a
that.
team with the most volume in the history of the league, and you'll be good.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, if you got Dallas players on your fantasy team, any offensive player, put them in. Javonte Williams is like top 5 quarterback, or running back, excuse me. Dak's probably the lowest right now, just because he hasn't thrown as many touchdowns.
And dude, the Giants were torching the Cowboys defense. Diggs and all these guys that are
Yes.
supposed to be good, former all
Yes.
pros,
Mhm.
like they're just getting torched. Like the Cowboys defense
Bland.
can't stop anyone.
Dude, yeah, it was when Russell Wilson like looks like a Hall of Famer right now in this stage in his career. Like, there's something wrong with your defense. Like 400.
He looked like 2014
yards.
Russell when he came back
Dude,
against the Packers, even though we hate that
seriously.
game and don't talk about it, but that's what it looked like.
Yeah, that is what it
But
looked like.
Do you,
So
do you know what
yikes.
Cowboy cornerback rated the best yesterday?
Which
Is
one?
one that the Bears let go. Flute said, "Oh, we're going
That's
to take it with me."
exactly.
So it wasn't the All Star. So Ryan Post was like, "Here you go," because I've let
Why
my
would we need
affections
this
for
guy?
Ryan Post go. Notice
That won't-
before, yeah,
that
it's
shows
like
you
they
how
only
bad
did
their
3. They
secondary
only did.
is.
Yeah, they only did 3 passes at this man, and he had a really good rating. Meanwhile, we'll get into it later. But
Yeah, we'll get into the Bears
best
later.
the best DB for Dallas was the guy who the Bears let go for
The
nothing.
guy
The
who
Bears-
Ryan Poles gave to him.
Yeah, the Bears scrapped, and they can't stop anybody. But we'll talk about that too. So, all right, I think that's good. Let's go on to the next one, Hype. What do we got next?
Oh, baby, we're going to go to one smart, one dumb. This is Derek's specialty.
Yes, sir.
A genius title for us, the situation for people like us who can't decide whether we're going to be smart or dumb.
Well,
So what do we got lined up?
dude, there was a lot this weekend, a lot of dumb stuff. I got some pretty good ones, but you know what, Hype? We're going to go back to you, and we're going to start with you. What did you think was smart and dumb this weekend?
The Colts for caring about their offensive line. I mean, look at the difference with Indiana Jones on the Giants, who can't even get like a one. They had their left tackle had 6 penalties in the first like 10 minutes of the game, right? Like just dysfunction everywhere in the Giants. You look at the Colts. And Dave's been pounding the drum for the Colts being a good team. And we're like, sure, Dave, okay, right? But we got to give him some credit for something, right? Because he's a Bears fan, so he's got to pick a team to get behind, right? And
Exactly.
so him having a lot of time to throw the ball and good protection from his offensive line has turned him into a top 4 or top 2 quarterback the first 2 weeks, depending on how you look at it. Completely insane and amazing. And not only that, he's doing it against the Broncos, who are supposed to be the best defense in the league. Like what? Like literally Pat McAfee is like, the Colts are going to the Super Bowl. Like this is just what's happening, right? And there's like video of him and all the celebrities at the Colts game, which is like 4 people, you know. It's all the Indiana Pacers and Pat McAfee is like the celebrities, and they're just dancing and having fun, like they're just like, you know, having the greatest time in their life. I don't know how long this is gonna last. But like, and also Jonathan Taylor, they finally figured out how to use him, and they're just doing these dump off passes and little things to him, and he's so fast. He's just going for 60 yards at a shot. I think he actually clocked in as like one of the top 4 fastest people in the league this year so far, because he's had, and usually that takes time to get up to that speed. So it means he's had those long runs, those dump off passes, whatever. Just get Jonathan Taylor the dang ball. And they have all these other little speedy receivers. Like they have a lot of little speedy guys on their team that get open.
Oh, they don't got little guys. They got speedy guys though.
They got speedy guys. Well, you know, so they're not like big, tall guys so much, but they're fast. And Daniel Jones gets the ball to them, and he's playing efficiently. And it just shows you what, like, maybe, you know, some better coaching and a good offensive line can do for a quarterback. Like, I remember when the Cowboys seemed like they were like this amazing team when they had an amazing offensive line. They could run, they could do whatever they want, right? They're the best line in the league. And then the line took a step back, and next thing you know, Dak Prescott is a guy throwing picks and losing playoff games and just looking like, you know, not a top tier quarterback at times, even though he throws for a lot of yards.
Right.
So My smart thing is the Colts and Dave. Dave gets to also be in the category with the Colts because he's also a lineman. And caring about having a good O-line and protecting your quarterback, because this year of any year in the league, the Packers also, other teams, if you have a line protection, your quarterback is playing really well usually.
Yeah, dude.
Do
Doug,
you have any concerns about them doing what the Saints did last year, though, where they lit the world on fire for the first 2 weeks?
Yeah.
It could be true. It could just go in the gutter or
Dude,
whatever. But
the risky part with them is I think the Saints they had Kubiak as the offensive coordinator, who really didn't have too much experience calling the plays. Steichen, however, was the OC for the Eagles when he first built up that Eagles offense.
Yes.
So he has the experience, and now he finally has a quarterback again after 3 years of whatever. So
I think
that's the difference between those two.
Indiana
scenarios.
Jones is throwing some really nice passes. I'll tell you that.
He
when
is.
he has time to do it.
Now, we've seen Daniel Jones have a decent to good year, and we've seen Daniel Jones have some atrocious games. Those are still in him. I'm telling you, those are still in him, but I still think the Colts are better than average.
But what if he smartens up and when he's not having a good game, he just starts running for 80-yard runs
or handing it off to Jonathan Taylor? I mean, because dude, remember he had Saquon in New York. It's not like he was by himself. Now he didn't have as many targets. Speaking of which, Tyler Warren looks really good, down there in Indianapolis. He's like a perfect kind of compliment. And Jonathan Taylor was, NFL rushing leader and maybe, one of the best running backs in the league until he started having a few injuries and, the offense kind of went weird with the Anthony Richardson experiment. But he's a weapon. People forget how good he is. It wasn't that long ago that he was, getting most yards.
When Richardson was playing quarterback, defenses probably could just stack the box and not worry about him throwing because he was terrible and they could just play the run all the time. But now you got Indiana Jones back there. I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah. No, I'm curious to see what the Colts do. I'm paying attention now. I will tell you that. I don't know if I think they're going to win the division.
Is everyone in the world just rooting for the Colts just because this is the craziest thing? It's just fun.
I think it might just be because nobody thought they would be very good.
Yeah, why not?
It's like when the Lions came out.
Yeah. Like Jared Goff, right? Nobody was like, oh, they got rid of Goff. He can't be good, right? Well, they got rid of Daniel Jones. He can't be good. You just assume if they don't work with one franchise, they're not going to work with the other. The guy we watched tonight, Baker Mayfield, Browns got rid of him. He went to the Panthers, looked terrible, and then goes to the Buccaneers, and he's great now, right? So franchises do make differences for different people. And maybe Daniel Jones resurrects his career in Indianapolis. We'll see.
All these quarterbacks that get drafted in the first round or have hype and they don't, they just burn out on the Jets or whatever. So you're seeing now, this is true more than anything, right? We have a lot of things to talk about in that category, of course.
Yeah.
Now, do I get to do my one dumb next, or do we go to? Okay.
Yeah, this time Neckbeard will let you give your dumb.
I'm allowed to do it. Okay. The dumb thing is, this is kind of about the Vikings, of course, because they're just a whole bunch of dumbness. But the real dumbness is, why did the 49ers let Sam Darnold go? They had him on their team. They could have just kept Sam Darnold, paid him $5 and say bye Brock Purdy. You know what I mean? The 49ers can win with any quarterback. They don't need Brock Purdy and $45 million or whatever on their team. And now Sam Darnold went to the Vikings, won whatever it was, 14 games, and now he's on Seattle looking pretty good too. So now, of course, the Vikings are part of the dumbness. The 49ers and the Vikings are both dumb for letting Sam Darnold go. The Vikings should have held on to him and made sure J.J. McCarthy was the guy. Let him sit for another year. Let him come in and play in spells, Sam Darnold. Because now, if you had Sam Darnold, you could have another 14-win season maybe and kept the team together.
All right, there's two reasons I disagree with you. Number one, the 49ers had Sam Darnold and Purdy, and if they seem about the same, which by the way, every freaking quarterback in San Francisco is the same.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Because it's the system. You get Purdy on 4 years rookie contract. Sam Darnold got paid last year, so the 49ers didn't have to pay him, so I can understand that. And then the same thing for the Vikings. Sam Darnold just got a 3-year contract. You can't keep Sam Darnold for 1 year. He wants a 3-year contract. So you either sign him to a 3-year contract or you let him walk. And so they kind of had to. Now, to that point, should they have drafted J.J. McCarthy should be the real question, and maybe just kept Sam Darnold. But they didn't know what he was going to be, obviously, right, when they got him. But I mean, dude, the 49ers, Mac Jones is in there resurrecting his career. And now we get to see Carson Wentz resurrect his career potentially in Minnesota. And can somebody just trade for Kirk Chains already so I can watch him throw 3 picks a game? Can we just do that already? because you know he's going to throw 3 touchdowns, but he's also going to throw 3 picks, and I want to see that happen. So somebody trade for Kirk Cousins.
And I have
now.
my fantasy team, so as long as he gets 4 touchdowns and just 3 picks and 400 yards,
as long as it's not the Bengals, please, Bengals, don't do it to yourself. But like, I think the Niners could consider it if with Purdy's injury. I think the Vikings could consider it with JJ McCarthy's injury. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying, Doug. But like, I think just financially, guys, you know that the Vikings are also $55 million over the cap next year, and that's with McCarthy on a rookie contract. So like, they have got a lot of tough financial decisions to make. And I think they wanted to keep Darnold for another year, but he wanted a 3-year contract, and I do not blame him. That's what he should have done. If you got one good year in you and you can get a long-term deal, get a long-term deal, dude. No, they can't franchise him because they signed him as a free agent. That's not how it works. Yeah, so they can't do that. So, yeah.
I still stand by you should have kept Sam Darnold on your team, Vikings, just because it's really funny to laugh at.
Dude, he was so good. Yeah, but I mean, from what we've seen from McCarthy, it looks like a pretty dumb move, to be honest.
Well, the Vikings and their fans were all saying Jay McCarthy's the next big thing or whatever, and I'm like, bro, you already have an all-pro level quarterback playing for you right now, as just in your system at least, you know. And he might not be that for every team. But like,
McCarthy is looking awful. And yes, he had the comeback against the Bears, but we saw what the Bears did. Okay, we're done talking about that. Let's go over to Dave. All right, so Dave,
let's talking about the Bears.
Okay.
Well, my one smart thing is Dan Campbell going for the touchdown at the end of the first half.
On 4th down?
Tesla caught the ball. He got tackled inbounds. Unfortunately, one of the officials blew the play dead, blew that he was out of bounds. The other official said, nope, he's still in bounds. And they didn't stop the clock. Clock expired. And then they went back and reviewed, and they said, oh, no, because one official blew
dead. The 6 seconds left.
They had to do the 10-second runoff, and they allowed the 6 seconds. So Dan Campbell could have just, had options, just kick a field goal and whatnot. Instead, he's like, well, right now we're up by 7. They get the ball first, so they had the chance to, make it only a 3-point game. Screw it. Let's go for 28-14. And that took, because the Bears they left the sidelines. They're like, nope, they blew the half is dead. Let's go to the locker room. And then somebody said, no, wait a minute. So they were discombobulated by that, and they never recovered. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't the only thing. We lost Jalen Johnson in the second quarter. And once he went out, we couldn't stop nothing. But Dan Campbell saying, all right, we're going to go for that jugular right now. We're just going to kick him in the nuts, the face, everywhere. That was a great call by Dan Campbell. He's always aggressive, and I just hats off to him for that.
And he went for it on 4th and goal when they were up by like 28 points with 3 minutes left. Like, he don't give an F. Like,
no,
he
literally
does not.
Oh yeah, they asked Ben Johnson about it afterwards. He's like, it's our job to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I was on that sideline. I loved it. My job is to stop him now. So I appreciate it wasn't wide or not. It's just like,
yeah, no. And that's what I'm saying too. Like, Dan Campbell don't care. He's like, we're gonna go for it. So all right, I like it. All right. What was your dumb thing from the weekend? What did you see that was dumb?
I understand that the Denver defense is elite, but you'd been successful moving the ball almost the entire day. And then at the last drive, you're like, no, we're good. If we stop right here, we can settle for a 60-yard field goal. Let's not try to move the ball anymore. We don't want to risk getting a sack or anything else. When they could have been a little bit more aggressive. So the Colts, because of that questionable play calling by the head coach, they missed the field goal. It was only because of the penalty by the defensive lineman on the Broncos, where he tried to, jumping over whatever propulsion, whatever. That's what saved their bacon. So it still would have been a great game for them. It would have been a moral victory, not the same as coming back to win. But yeah, it was just the Colts head coach saying, no, I'm comfortable taking this guy who's kicked 5 field goals in his lifetime in the NFL, have him kick a 60-yard field goal to try to win the game.
All right, fair. But hold on now. Because my smart thing is the Cowboys doing the exact same thing. And
their kicker, he's not normal.
Dude, he ain't normal. They lined up for a 64-yard field goal, and he just took a piss, and it could have been good from 75. Like, that thing was an absolute rocket.
Yeah, 10 feet above the crossbar.
He got interviewed by Pat McAfee, and he told him, like, I didn't even kick it right. I thought I was going to kick it wide, and somehow everything that guy does, the ball just goes through.
No, you saw it was going right, and you're like, and then it was like, nah, boom, right in the middle.
He miskicked it, and it still went.
Dude, that guy's got an absolute cannon on his leg. Like, that was awesome. I was like, what are the Cowboys doing? And I was like, oh, right, Brandon Aubrey.
He doesn't even watch the tape. He just,
dude, I'd let him kick a 72-yard game-winning field goal. I'd let him do it.
The faith of God put in his leg or something.
No, so like,
well, he did go to Notre Dame, right?
Yeah, I think so. Is
that
right?
Yeah, faith of God.
Yeah. Well, so there you go.
And Pittsburgh won on what, a 63-yard field goal? Like, dude, field goal kickers are in the weight rooms now because it used to be 50 yards was tough. Now that's 60. 50 yards is a cakewalk. Like, guys are
by the end of the season, we're gonna have a 70-yarder.
Dude, guys are kicking 50-yard field goals like they're eating lunch. Like, it's not even a big deal. It's the 60-yarders that are kind of tough, and then there's a couple kickers where 60 yards aren't even tough. Do you know what I mean? Like, like Aubrey. Like, I thought that was awesome. He was just like, nope. He's like, we're just gonna run the ball. We're gonna put it right in the middle of the field. We're gonna let him kick it, and he just nailed it right down the middle. I actually like that. I don't like field goal kicking at all. I'm not going to lie, but I think there should be a rule. It should have to be 60 yards or further.
Do you think Jerry's going to like not get a contract with him for like a whole season? And
I think Jerry's going to bring him to the office and be like, "You got a nice legs. Maybe we should sign a contract." Oh man, I didn't want to think about what Jerry's going to talk about with that guy. All right, so that was my smart thing. Let's go to my dumb thing. My dumb thing for the weekend also has to do with kicking. It was a very kicking centric weekend, everybody. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Caleb Johnson.
Ball is live, guys. The ball is live. Like, when it hits inside the zone, you have to pay attention to it. I laughed when it happened because it happened to Aaron Rodgers' team. Special teams in his career have been atrocious. But dude, come on. Everybody needs to know these rules. That's on the coaches to me. If you're putting a guy out there to kick return, you better make sure he knows every single rule and every single nuance of this new rule and how everything works, and they do not make that mistake, because that is a 7-point swing that, every team, I bet, this weekend is going.
And why wouldn't you just do it just to make sure? I mean, are you
just
kidding
make
me?
sure? Exactly. Don't play it cool. Yeah, that was really dumb. And
his only job right now is to be the kick returner.
And he saw people continuing to go after the ball, and he kept walking away, just like, oh, I guess they're gonna go get it now.
No, I think it was just a lapse of concentration, or I blame the special teams coach for not like drilling it into his head or whatever it is. But like, the coach has got to make sure that, like, hey, we know every single rule and how this works. We do not walk away when it lands inbounds. Like, we 100% make sure that ball is safe, right? And then my other dumb thing also is with Pittsburgh. Like, Aaron Rodgers, quit throwing your teammates under the bus, man. Like, you're supposed to be a leader. Quit complaining about where they went or what they were supposed to do or this or that because you threw 2 picks. Like, dude, that second pick was a terrible throw. Like, come on, man. Like, you had a good week. You guys lost this game. Like, let's be better. You could be better. Don't throw your teammates under the bus. So that's my other dumb thing. He knows better. He's a veteran. So, all right. So that's one smart, and I did 2 dumb, but 1 dumb team, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Aaron Rodgers is always dumb. Feel free.
Yeah. You could elaborate, but you just say his name, and we all kind of know.
Yeah, we know what's going to happen. So let's go on to the next one. Packers and Bears. Dougie, lead it off. What do you got?
It's been a crazy season. So as usual, Dave won the off season for a while, but then he kind of lost at the end. So I feel bad for him. And then the season started, and now we've reversed the roles. Okay, and the Packers played the Washington Commanders, and we were able to talk about this already because we did the Friday show and everything. But just let me look at my notes. Oh. This is something I really, really enjoy a lot. Jordan Love used to kind of throw the ball when he's getting hit, do all these hero throws. And part of this might be because there's less pressure because the team's kind of doing well, but he's throwing the ball away now. He's not making the stupid throws. And people have been noticing this. They go back and look at the tape and they're like, anytime there's a pressure or something where you're like, oh, this is bad, a bell goes off in his head and he just gets rid of the ball or just does something smart. And I'm like, that's what I've been waiting for his whole career. Like he used to just chuck it up and be like, here's a 50-50 ball, and guys would like pick it off sometimes or do something crazy. And he still kind of does that like a little bit once in a while.
I mean, I feel like that Malik Heath throw was a bit of a like, oh, let's see what happens. And Malik Heath made like an amazing play on it.
It was kind of far enough outside though, where it was going to be out of bounds or not caught.
that's the thing that I would also say on top of that, Doug, is that when you throw those, you throw them on the sideline so that you either have to make a hero catch or nobody
and
gets
he
it.
did.
And he used to throw those like 3 or 4 yards inside the barrier, right? And
Yeah.
so you can see that's an evolution because good quarterbacks do that. They throw it like right on the end, so like your guy gets it or it's incomplete. They don't throw it over the middle where it can be tipped and then all this other bad stuff happens. So yeah, that was an awesome part of Jordan Love's game.
And I'm gonna say something. Okay, one more thing about Jordan Love. He's like 4th or 5th in EPA right now. He would have been even higher, but all these other guys like Daniel Indiana Jones keep on like throwing like freaking piss missiles across the field, right?
Hot piss
And
missile.
get their EPA per play or passing yards per play, like Geno Smith is high.
Oh, man.
But Jordan Love has more touchdowns and more things happening and everything.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. The league's becoming very dink and dunk. If you look at a lot of the passers in the league, other than Russell Wilson, they're just doing checkdowns like crazy. There's a lot of checkdowns in the league. There's a lot like the yards per pass is like very low for many teams. And the Jordan Love, his yards per throw is actually really high, but he's also very efficient, not throwing picks so much other than that one I called back, throwing a lot of touchdowns. So that's really, really good. And my nice thing I'm going to say about Caleb Williams is he did get timed at over 20 miles an hour on one of his scrambles. So he's a very good scrambler. And I think the Bears should turn into a Raven-style Lamar Jackson offense.
Wow, that's a hot take that I don't agree with at
I
all.
100% think they should with Caleb Williams.
So we shouldn't even talk about the Bears game because it was so bad. But it was so bad. But I will say this.
Things about
I will say this. Let's just bring it around to the NFC Central, right? Like JJ McCarthy had 5 minutes of good against what looks like a atrocious defense, right? And then he plays the Atlanta Falcons and looks atrocious again. So he's cooked. Now he's out for a couple weeks. The Bears offense has had moments, right? They've had moments where they look like they know what they're doing.
They look exciting.
But the Bears are still the Bears. Like they're finding ways to lose. And to Dave's credit, he said a week before the season started, okay, the championship's over, the season's over. I'm on vacation now because the Bears actually have to play real football games.
It's Brewer season, baby.
And for David's Brewers season because
playoffs.
Every single year, people say the Bears are going to be good, and every single year they're not good. Like, just wait till the Bears are good. Like, you guys just need to learn.
Wait till they play a couple games.
Yeah, like
they were really great that first quarter. The first quarter of the season, I was like, wow, look at this. You know?
Okay. So Caleb's like passer rating on the first 2 drives of each game, like the ones that he practices during the week, that's all scripted, is really, really good. It's really high, right? Like he's almost perfect, right? And then when it gets into the game and he has to make game time decisions, he turns into the guy he was at USC and the guy he was last year, where he holds the ball too long. He's not throwing it to the right place. He's looking at the wrong read,
he's
right?
Wondering what fingernail polish he should put on a hat.
Yeah, like I think he has the ability. You can see it from those first 2 drives to like bring it all together and like figure things out. But he's taking a while to figure things out. In the first drive, he's not processing because he's running the script. And then he's processing in the 3rd and 4th quarter when things are getting kind of messy. And I think he just gets in his own head and he just needs to chill. I think all this pressure from the outside that the Bears are going to be good is also part of the problem because they're not that good. Like, I'm sorry, they're not. They've got a lot of big names, but look at their defense.
I wonder how good the offensive line has been blocking for him because I don't watch every play, Dave. But like the reviews are, is that his time to pass that he has in the pocket clean is as good as it's ever been in his career.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's good compared to other teams because last year maybe it was bad.
Our offensive line gives him a clean pocket.
They give him a clean pocket, so like there's not a whole lot of excuse for him. And the thing about it is, even though I'm a Packer fan and I hate the Bears in a certain way, but like when I watch them play and make these cool plays, it's kind of exciting and fun. I kind of want to watch a game where like Jordan Love and Caleb are going back and forth and having like, these crazy, like things happen,
And to be fair, I wouldn't say the Bears offensive line was good last year. There were a lot of like quick sacks that the Bears offensive line screwed up, but there were a ton of plays where he had time and he held it too long and he made the mistake. Do you know what I mean?
And so, and pass blocking, their offensive line rated like 14th or 15th on paper.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They weren't that terrible. And everyone's like, oh, his offensive line's terrible. That's why there were 70 sacks. Well, when you hold the ball for 9 seconds, that can happen. So
that there is one blessing that's coming up for Doug.
What's
you want to watch something that's exciting? And this is something that we're not supposed to cover till Friday, but one thing that Dougie can look forward to is Dallas Caleb.
Yes.
It's going to be two crappy defenses, two who
I
knows
hope
what
it's
offenses.
88 to
That should be all
87.
sorts. That'll be the Giants Cowboys again, or it'll
Dude,
I
be
hope
no.
there's more
Now
points
it's
scored in
going to
that game
be
than ever have been
13.
scored.
It's going to be 13-10 now because everybody's excited about it because that's
Right.
just what
Probably.
happens, you know. That's just what happens. It's going to be 13-10. So the Packers are playing the Browns and the Bears are playing the Cowboys this next weekend. So that could be two dumpster fire games, or it could be two really good games. I don't
The
know.
Browns are good against the run. They're very
Yeah.
good.
So
They
the
shut down the
Cowboys defense might be worse than the Bears. So if Caleb doesn't have a good game against the Cowboys, like that's a problem. I'm not even saying the Bears have to win that
Kenny
game. 'Cause I
Clark's
think-
over there though, so watch out. You know.
Yeah, I think Dallas is going to still score a bunch of points, but like if Caleb puts up a stinker and scores like 15, 16 points against the Cowboys defense, that's definitely a problem. Geno
Russell
Smith
Wilson
throwing more
torched them.
interceptions. Nope, not that time. Okay.
And Caleb's also just throwing pretty much to Odun Romeo, right? Most of the time
Yeah.
or whatever.
Rome.
Odunze
Rome,
got
yeah,
targeted
sorry.
a lot.
Romeo's
Dude.
in Green Bay. Rome is in Chicago.
Yeah,
getting
wait,
mixed up.
where's DJ Moore? Is he hurt, Dave?
I have him on
DJ
my
Moore?
fantasy team.
Traded away? Because
No,
I don't.
Oh no,
Wait.
I actually one of the guys in our league had a brilliant idea to me. Bears need a running back, and Justin Fields needs a second wide receiver. Let's make it happen. Braylon
Brees
Allen
Hall?
for DJ Moore.
Oh,
No, Braylon Allen.
for DJ Moore.
Oh, Braylon Allen.
Oh.
No, you can't have a Badger. That's not.
No, we need to have a Badger. We need to have a Hammer.
No, you're not.
We'll let him keep Brees Hall. Let him keep that.
You already have
contract.
Sanborn. No, you don't get more back.
Braylon Allen ain't doing nothing in New York, anyways.
I don't think he'll want to go to the Bears. But
I
mean, it is the Jets. So I mean, that is one franchise you can probably trade
It's
with.
an even trade.
He's got
guy.
he's got a much better line over.
Dude,
in,
they're not
the
going to
Jets,
trade
but ours
DJ
isn't that
Moore
bad.
for Braylon Allen. All right, so
No.
let's talk about the Bears. Let's talk about Poles because Dave sent us some articles about how bad Poles is at
I
his
even
job.
read them.
And it's a little shocking because I was reading through it, and the more I think about it, the more it kind of rings true. So, Dave, give us kind of the synopsis of what's going on here with these reports.
All right. So one thing you have to think about historically is Ryan Poles has been around for about 4 years. He has yet to have somebody who he drafted make a Pro Bowl. And he's had a number of draft picks. Yesterday, one of the things that really stood out is he had two picks in the second round this last year. Ozzie Trapillo and then oh goodness, I'm drawing a blank. Shamar Turner. Oh no, Shamar Turner.
Yeah.
The two linemen. They were both healthy scratches. In 2024, his third round pick, he took Karan Amagaji, who was going to be a project, but still, he was also a healthy scratch. So, two of his offensive linemen in the last 2 years drafted in the top 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Healthy scratches. Granted, Kyron, we know that he is going to be a project because A, he was Yale, and B, he was also coming off of an injury. But you have to consider, why are you going to draft somebody like that if you already have holes on your offensive line? It's one thing if you're the Eagles and you already have established linemen who are there, but for some reason, Poles thought, no, I'm going to take this guy, and he is going to be the third string backup tackle from the sounds of it. So his track record is just getting worse and worse. When you look at our defense, Kevin Byard, he's too old. He was one of our free agent signees 2 years ago. Unfortunately, age is catching up to him. He looks good when he has 3 elite cornerbacks in front of him. Unfortunately, when Jalen Johnson got hurt in the second quarter, we were again without Kyler Gordon. Jalen Johnson tore his groin. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. And Tyreek Stevenson, our other cornerback, who's good when the other two guys are there.
Yeah.
He gave up a perfect quarterback rating against the Lions yesterday.
Dude, yeah, he did not look good at all. He did not.
So yeah, that was supposed to be the one area that maybe you could say, okay, he drafted some guys that are good, and they're just annihilated. Our secondary was supposed to be a strength. It's not there. We don't have any depth. And when he took Velus Jones in the third round, a wide receiver who, you're like, oh no, he's not going to be good enough to play wide receiver. He'll be a gimmick or a gadget. With the third round, nothing about his draft history. The best thing that he's done is taken Torrey Taylor, the punter, in the fourth round.
No, that's not good.
Otherwise, in 2023, he doubled down. He went on Gervin Dexter and Zach Pickens on back-to-back rounds, second and third round.
Are they still in the league? Even? Are they still
Dexter's
playing?
still there, but Pickens is out.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So
Roshan
that's just
Johnson.
within 2 years. Your third round D lineman is out. Roshan Johnson, who he drafted in the 4th round, granted he's hurt, but he still hasn't shown anything either. So up and down, you don't see anything out there that says, okay, this is guy. And okay, fresh our hype brought up a good point. Rome is getting targeted left and right yesterday, and
Yeah.
his I think average depth of target was 18 yards. For DJ Moore, it's only like 8. They're getting him a lot of screens, so he's chucking it to him down ball, which from a fantasy standpoint, that's great. And unfortunately, Rome had 2 or 3 drops that, one of them was right in the numbers, but I still would have preferred that we had taken Olufashanu with our second pick right after Caleb Williams. Get him that left tackle.
Yep.
Instead, you had to show, no, we're going to get him the wide receiver who he handpicked because our quarterback is going to drive who we draft.
I mean, this is the thing too, is like, I get that you want to get him a guy, but you had a guy in DJ Moore. And You know what's hard to get? Left tackles. You know what's not as hard to get? Good wide receivers. Like maybe not great wide receivers, right? But you can get a lot of good wide receivers, right? They're out. Dude, freaking, what's his name on the Carolina Panthers just came out of retirement and had 2 touchdowns. The little white guy from Clemson. What the heck is his name? I can't remember.
Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow.
He was mowing his lawn.
Look like he's in game shape. They just called him off the couch. And they're like,
he's mowing his neighbor's lawn, gets a phone call. They're like, "You want to play football?" He's like, "I guess so." And then he shows up and he gets 2 touchdowns. So like,
the Panthers,
you can find wide receivers, man. You can't find tackles. Like it's hard.
It's easy to find fast guys who are about 190, 200 pounds.
There's a lot of
to find an athletic 330-pound man.
Thank you. Or who's 6'4" as well, right? Like 5
exactly.
6'6".
Who's long and whatnot. It's a lot more difficult.
Yeah, it's way more difficult. So you take those guys, which is why, when the Packers took Morgan 2 years ago, I wasn't super excited about it. But this weekend, he had to start, right? Because we had an injury, and he did pretty well against the actual Washington Commanders defensive line. So, like, not only did we get a tackle high, but we didn't even play him basically last year. And he came in clutch, and he's going to be a starter one day. So, yeah, prioritizing offensive line for a young quarterback should be the number one thing for every single football team. You look at what happened to Andrew Luck, right? Look at what happened to even Deshaun Watson before even the, all this stuff happened. Like he was getting smacked around.
I have to say,
Joe Burrow getting smacked around. He's now hurt. So go ahead, Doug. What do you got to say?
Somebody asked Jerry Jones on the radio one day this like off season, and he stormed off and did this thing and said, "I'm never coming back." And the question was, "Hey, you're a GM. Can you name a GM you're better than?" And he couldn't, but now we can. Polls.
Oh, boom.
Well, shoot, 4th round, we take Ruben Hippolyte, linebacker out of Maryland, who
that was a massive
graded
stretch.
in the 7th round.
Dude, that was a massive reach because, like, he's like a special teams player, which is fine, right? Like, you should have those guys, but you should draft them in the 7th round, like you said.
And then after that, in the 5th round, he took Za Frazier, a cornerback out of Texas San Antonio.
Yeah,
who's out for the season. So it's you look at his draft history and you just can't have faith in anything. How did he get his extension? And there's a reason why people in Chicago, they're upset.
I mean, he made the trade with the Panthers to not take Bryce Young, right? So that was a good move. I think the Panthers were not smart to do it, but the Bears, the Bears were planning on trading out of that pick anyway. So I think the Panthers more overpaid than the actual Bears did a great job there. But like you said, he took Caleb, didn't look at Jalen Daniels tape. Did we talk about that already, Dave? We didn't talk about
we talked about that.
He didn't watch any Jalen Daniels tape, and Jalen Daniels looks pretty good. And then he doesn't take a tackle. So like, I mean,
but to be fair, Jalen Daniels loses to the Packers too, so maybe it could have been a Bear.
Yeah, that's true. Well, either way. All right. So the Bears suck. What went wrong in that game?
No, the Bears don't suck. Our GM sucks.
I mean,
we got a good head coach. We got some good pieces.
I mean, you think you have a good head coach. He was a good offensive coordinator.
Sure about that.
You had a good offensive coordinator that was the most, desired offensive coordinator in the league before as a head coach. How did that go?
Who was that? Nagy?
Yeah, Matt Nagy.
Yeah, Andy Reid called all of the plays.
True, which again,
so Nagy wasn't really. We'd hope that.
I'm not saying Nagy's Ben Johnson. I'm just saying Nagy went in and nothing changed, right? And I don't know that Ben Johnson can fix the Bears. I think Ben Johnson was the absolute right hire, but I don't know if he can fix it there.
We can at least see where he's scheming the right people and the people are open.
Yeah,
Caleb still needs to see the development. And there was one play I want to bring up where it was, I think it was a 4th down and 3. We had the ball at around the 10, and they wound up doing a Caleb does a sprint out to the right, and he was able to get the first down, and then he pops up, and then it looks like he's barking at his wide receivers. He's barking at Luther Burden, and he's barking at Zacchaeus, like he expected them to pave the way for him to get into the end zone. So if you're a quarterback and it's a scramble, should you really be yelling at your smaller wide receivers because you didn't get a touchdown? It was just the whole body language. Obviously, I didn't get to hear anything, but I was just looking at the body language and how he was talking to the wide receivers, walking back at the huddle. It looked like he was barking at him, and that's just not a realistic expectation. So I'm not sold on his leadership. I don't. Hopefully, he's a young man. He has time to mature. Hopefully, he can grow up a little bit. That'll happen next year. But yeah,
we'll see.
Well, Ben
Brewer
Johnson
season, baby.
Sorry, go ahead.
That it is.
Well, Ben Johnson, I'm not completely sold on. He was really good with the Lions, but the Lions had like all pros at like every position. All pro wide receiver, all pro offensive line,
right?
At least Pro Bowl level quarterback.
I mean, they didn't look like they missed Ben Johnson yesterday at all.
That's why I'm saying, like, if they play well, they can just throw. They led the league in scoring last year, but they scored 50 points.
Yeah, and is the Bears defense that bad? Is the Lions offense just that good? Like, I mean, there's all these questions.
You got to consider Dennis Allen loves to play high pressure man.
Yeah, which is they don't have the personnel for that.
And the personnel that the Lions have is perfect for killing man, right? Because you got all of that speed all over the place. So
and they're
Lions
giving time for Goff to pass. So. Goff had 0 sacks, I think, in that game.
Yeah, he did. Lance Briggs called out our edge rusher Montez Sweat for not having any pressure despite getting all the big boy money.
Ooh, we didn't have any pressure.
But you need to get a lot of pressure from different places against the Lions, like up the middle and stuff, right?
All right, so let's do something fun. Let's do predictions. Who wins more football games this year? The Vikings with Carson Wentz, okay? And only Carson Wentz at quarterback, okay? The Bengals with Browning at quarterback, okay? Or the 49ers with Mac Jones at quarterback. Okay, let's say over the next 3 weeks, who wins the most games? Who do you guys think is in the best position to be successful out of those 3 teams?
Ooh,
And Mac Jones doesn't have Kittle.
Nope, Kittle's out.
No Kittle,
and like all he had pretty much was McCaffrey, and this is the Saints, guys. Okay, so he looked good, but it's also the Saints. So like, it's still Mac Jones. Like,
but who are they
I know
playing
the
against?
system. I'm 100% the 49ers system. You could literally throw in almost anybody and they would function in that system at a pretty high level, right?
Enough to
so we're just seeing the next 3 weeks. So the Bengals play at Minnesota, at Denver, and Detroit.
Yep.
So heads up, I'll go Bengals, and then I say they lose the next 2. So they get 1-1 right there.
Okay.
The Vikings for their other 2 games of the next 3. Let's check it out.
I think they play the Eagles also. Or somebody hard this next 2 games. Maybe it's after that.
So they play, and then it's Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
Ooh, Pittsburgh.
Who is that? Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota plays Cincy, Pittsburgh, and
Here
Cleveland.
comes the Carson Wentz bandwagon.
So wait, Carson Wentz is going to go play against the entire AFC North, basically, is what's going to happen.
Yes.
And beat them.
Interesting.
He's totally going to beat them.
I mean,
so he gets to play the Aaron Rodgers.
That would be hilarious. Okay,
I think the Vikings are kind of terrible, but like, I don't know, maybe they pull it out.
I mean, and Aaron Jones is hurt now too, guys, right? Did you hear that? Aaron Jones is hurt now.
Well, is Pittsburgh's defense any good this year?
No.
That was part of it. No. It didn't look that, and the Jets rolled
Jalen
over
Ramsey's
him, so.
The only thing that's working for them on defense. It seems like
so,
he's done a couple cool things.
The Niners play the Cardinals, the Jags, and the Rams. All beatable teams, but all teams that I feel like can beat them too.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Like I think the Rams probably are a better team than the Niners right now, but I'd say the Jaguars and 49ers are kind of a wash. I know that sounds silly, but with, Mac Jones and whatnot and, all the injuries and no Kittle. And the Cardinals, I mean, who knows? They almost lost to the Panthers, but they're 2-0. The Cardinals are 2-0, guys.
They were they're up what 27-3 or whatever, and then wound up
27-6, I think it was.
yeah, 27-6.
And the Panthers had opportunities to come back in the game. You know what? That was a really fun game. But the Panthers definitely threw it away. They got the onside kick, and you're like, oh, they got all the momentum, and then they just didn't do anything with it. And then they got a penalty to bail themselves out, and then they still didn't do anything with it. So yeah, that was kind of rough. Cardinals defense though showed up when it mattered, right? And yeah, that was
still Arizona's only beat New Orleans and Carolina. So I like Mac Jones for those three teams.
Yeah,
I'll take San Francisco. And
if I had to put money down, I put San Francisco. But watch out, you never know. Carson Wentz might be able to beat some of those teams.
Oh no, he's on my waiver pickup for Wednesday morning. We'll see if I get him.
There you go. Yeah,
that's a really good question though.
Mac Jones is not a bad pickup either. I mean, like the Jaguars defense still isn't great. The Cardinals defense still isn't great. The Rams defense is good though. Maybe not playing.
Oh yeah, Rams are solid.
And I got to make a correction. In our fantasy thing on Friday, I said pick up the Saints because they're playing McCarthy. I meant the Falcons. And see what they did against JJ McCarthy? They were awesome. Sacks everywhere, interceptions. Like I knew it was going to happen, but I said the Saints instead of the Falcons. So hey, just who's ever playing the Vikings? Just try to pick them up, guys. Like,
I have
just
a question also. If you're the Packers, what would you accept for a trade for Malik Willis? Because
I wouldn't.
Nothing.
I wouldn't.
Nothing at all.
We're so good.
Well,
we're so close to maybe winning the division. I think we're definitely a playoff team. If we have anything happen to Jordan Love over like a 3 or 4 game span, we can't afford to lose. So
even a first round draft pick, you're like,
we got to win at least 2 out of 5. Let's say he's gone for 5 games. We got to win at least 2. I think Malik Willis could win us 2 games. I do. I think he could maybe even 3 out of 5.
He could even win a playoff game if he just goes into that mode of game manager or scramble.
He was 2-0 last year, and then the last game against the Bears he played, and he did okay. He didn't do too great, but
teams don't know how to game plan for him, right?
I was going to say, I think if LaFleur's game plan includes Malik Willis from the start, right, there's going to be certain teams he's going to scheme it up to where it's going to be successful, like a Tennessee last year, right? Yep. So, like, to be honest, if we're playing the Bears, no offense, Dave, I feel like LaFleur could scheme some stuff up to run all over the Bears and, like, have things that are going to be successful for Malik Willis to do. Do you know what I mean? Where if we're playing the Eagles, probably not. But, we have to keep him. We have to keep him.
But it's been a big rumor today, right? That the Bengals are trying to get him.
5th round pick, like who cares? No, like it's more important that we have a backup for Love, even if he gets nicked up for a half and we're winning by 10 and Malik just needs to go in there and run the clock down as much as possible. Like, dude, like, did you see our backup quarterbacks in preseason last year? That's why we traded for Malik Willis. Like, backup quarterbacks matter, guys, more than ever in the NFL. Backup quarterbacks matter,
right?
You got to keep them.
Right now, Green Bay's goal has to be getting the 1 seed and this be in the year, not next year. You're
minimum
not
win the division.
You're the youngest team in the league. You're going for this year. Don't build for the future. Do it now while you can.
No, a 4th or 5th round pick is not worth potentially 2 or 3 football games that he could play. Do you know what I mean? Like he did a
what if they offer way more, like a 2nd or a 1st?
I'd trade him for a 2nd round pick, sure. But then I go ahead and trade a 4th round pick for somebody else's backup. Do you know what I mean? Like another player. So because you cannot.
Well, that was my question. What level of pick would it have to be? 2nd, 1st, 2 first? To give up.
No, they're not. Really no one's giving up a 1st from. No one's giving up a 2nd for Malik Willis.
It is the Bengals.
Why would they do? But they got.
They're not gonna.
Well,
they already have a decent quarterback.
The Bengals are not built to win a Super Bowl this year.
No, they're not.
So it makes no sense for them to give up a 2nd round pick.
The magic of Burrow makes you think that they can. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think Browning's going to win them a couple games. I still think the Bengals have a shot at making the playoffs.
They still averaged 26 points a game with Browning a couple years ago.
Yeah, but they're not making a Super Bowl and getting another quarterback, especially Malik Willis, who's, let's be honest, is not like a passer more as much as he is like kind of a combo rusher hybrid.
Like Browning's decent. Why would they even want Malik Willis, right?
I mean, unless they want him as a backup just in case because their offensive line is so trash, right? Like everybody gets hurt here.
They're just going to keep going through quarterbacks.
They're like, we need 4 quarterbacks. The Browns figured it out. They're like, hey, you just have 5 or 6 quarterbacks on the roster. That's right. And you never have to worry.
You just have Shedeur Sanders ready to go at any
moment. Dude, should somebody trade for Shedeur? He's hurt, but like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't think he's getting much play
What if
time.
they do
Dylan
get
Gabriel,
Shador on the Bengals? What if Shador plays for the Bengals and Jamar Chase?
that would be hilarious because Joe Flacco is not looking too good, folks.
At least as a backup, just get him there as a backup and see, just in case.
Dude, Trubisky came in for the Bills this weekend. It was all kinds of crazy. Trubisky played for the Bills for 2 drives or something like that while Allen was healing up. He like hit his nose or something.
He got a bloody nose.
Okay. Yeah, Trubisky did okay in those games.
There's a lot of hurt quarterbacks this week.
Yeah, dude.
Concussions from Justin Fields.
That's what I'm saying. Don't let anybody take Malik Willis just in case, right? Like high ankle sprain, like JJ McCarthy has, right? Probably 3 to 4 games, sometimes 5, depending on the player, sometimes 6. But you got to have somebody that can come in and run the offense efficiently. I like Malik Willis as our backup. Let's keep it that way. So, all right, who wins this game tonight? Chargers or Raiders? It is currently 10-6 in the second quarter while we're recording. Who wins this game? Doug, do you still have faith in your Raiders?
Yeah, I think they just have the Pete Carroll magic where they somehow make things happen. Geno Smith throws for a lot of yards. They have Brock Bowers, the wide receiver 1, at tight end.
Yep.
They've got Jonty down there who eventually somehow they have to figure out how to get him going in the running game, right? But the Raiders are just one of those crazy teams that you just don't want to play. Somehow they just win games at times when it seems like they shouldn't. Geno Smith's throwing picks, but they just do.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers is actually a really good wide receiver. He's like almost never, he has no drops as a wide receiver in his career.
Jacoby Myers is pretty good, honestly.
He is definitely a tier 2 wide receiver. He could be wide receiver 1 on your team.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the Raiders just get no credit and people overlook them. So who's winning right now?
The Chargers, 10-6?
10-6. Keenan Allen got a touchdown in the first quarter. Herbert
Keenan Allen
10 for 50 yards.
Out of that Bears uniform, he's already productive.
Keenan Allen scoring touchdowns.
Now that he's out of Chicago, touchdown every game.
I was going to say he had what?
Yeah. Former Bears players are going off.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, we'll sign you back for a low contract, and you're just the same player."
Maybe we need to track former Bear players all year and see how well they do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for that. Well, it's none that were drafted in the last 4 years because they're all garbage. But anyway, previously they might be worth tracking.
Right.
I mean, Brisker was a decent pick, right? They took Brisker.
Oh, he was,
yeah. Brisker was decent. I liked him, but that's about it. Looking at the rest of your draft picks, I'm just like, oof. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. All right, what else do we got? Anything else from this weekend that stood out to you guys? Or are we feeling pretty good about week 2 and we're excited for Friday's show?
We're coming up at it. We got about 1 minute left. So one quick idea I floated. Joe Burrows is the blank of the NFL. My idea is here being, okay, he's an amazing athlete, but he can't stay healthy. Greg Oden came to mind right away for the NBA, where he was amazing in college, but he never stayed healthy for a full season.
Well, he was amazing in college, but not at all in the NBA. So that's not
he was never healthy in the NBA. True. That's why I was thinking like Vince Carter. His first year, he went to the playoffs. Him and T-Mac, Tracy McGrady, they did amazing. Like, oh, here comes the next Michael, and then he was just always hurt. So is he the Vince Carter, or what would be your comparison for Joe Burrow?
You know what? I'm trying to think. Oh, man. Off the top of my head, the Cy Young winner for the San Francisco Giants, Tim Lincecum.
Yeah.
Remember the guy with the long hair?
Yes.
And he won 3 Cy Youngs in 4 years, and then it was just gone. Like his arm was just gone, and he couldn't pitch anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like he was at one point looked like an evolution for a pitcher, high standard. Burrow has looked like the best quarterback in the NFL on so many occasions, right? He hasn't won an MVP yet, but he's so good that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Though Lincecum did win a World Series with the Giants, and
so he's a Kerry Wood then.
Some Cy Youngs. Ooh, damn, that's rough.
Kerry Wood, yeah,
that's that is one. Rough.
He has a shitty franchise. And then
No, dude, it's true. I'm a Cubs fan, folks. These two are Brewers fans. I'm a Cubs fan, and maybe even Mark Pryor, dude.
Remember, I was thinking that tandem right there.
I was almost because he was so good too for 3 years, and then his arm went out. I think Kerry was better for longer, and injuries. That is a pretty good comparison, though. I actually really like that because Kerry came out the wood hot too, man. That 20 strikeout game. He was running our ERA around 3.2, 3.4, and then just striking everybody out. And then his arm just went out. But dude, that's all Dusty Baker. Like if you guys remember, I don't know if any of you guys are Cubs fans out there or have watched the Cubs games, but when Pryor and Wood were pitching in the Dusty Baker years for the Cubs, I mean, they were throwing so many innings. I'm surprised their arm didn't fall off. Dusty never took them out of the game. And if you watch Major League Baseball these days, guys, like pitchers rarely go past the 6th inning, so they're not having that end their career early. So Dusty Baker just pitched those 2 kids to death, unfortunately. But
Mark Pryor,
they were really good. They were really good for a while.
Did you have a suggestion, Hype, to close it out?
Yeah, well, for this question, I love this question. Nomar Garcia Parra had a little bit of that going too.
Yeah, but his was like when he was older in his career. Joe Burrow's only been in the league 6 years, guys. So
he's young.
That's true.
It seems
we're looking for Bright Flame out.
Yeah, this is his 6th year. His first year, he missed 13 games, and then he missed another year with 7 games, and now he's going to miss another 13 games. So, like in 6 years, he's basically played a little over.
What about Derrick Rose? He kind of had that.
Oh,
that's a good one, Derrick Rose. Yeah, because he
kind of put the team on his back.
Went to the finals.
We just keep naming Chicago sports teams,
dude. Holy cow, it's true. Yeah. Okay, what's another guy?
Penny Hardaway had a little bit of that too.
Is there a Blackhawks player that did that? I'm trying to think, but yeah. Wow, that's kind of nuts.
Derrick Rose is definitely somebody that could be in that category because there was not many other players that were good on his team either, right? It was like mostly him. He won the MVP.
Joakim Noah was on the team. He was pretty good. You guys had another winger. Was it Gerald Wallace? Who's the winger on that Bulls team? I don't think it was Gerald Wallace.
Yeah, but not like any superstars or nothing.
Not really. Noah was probably the closest thing. He was all defensive.
He was just like a low-level all-star, maybe.
He
He
had no offensive talent, a little offensive talent, lots of decent defensive talent. Derrick Rose is basically their main scorer.
And someone from our childhood, Penny Hardaway, could have turned into that.
Penny Hardaway.
Remember,
was
Shaq
so
said
good.
Penny was just as good as Kobe almost. Like that's what level he was at.
Yeah, dude, Penny was so good, and then he got hurt, and then when he went to Houston, it just wasn't the same. He was still pretty good, but those years when he was with Orlando,
didn't he go to the Suns too or something?
Yeah, at some point, and then he played, I think, for the Knicks for like a year. But he
had lots of
he was at a really high level for a while, for like 3-4 years, maybe 5, and then it just kind of went down once he got injured. Yeah, that's a good one. I like Penny Hardaway. That one actually kind of rings true because Penny Hardaway never won anything either.
Right.
And, that's kind of where Burrow's at. Never won an MVP, never won a Super Bowl. But everyone's like, dude, this guy's the guy. But he hasn't shown that he's the guy, but he could be the guy. So he looks like the guy. So he's the guy.
And he was on the Hornets, or was it the Magic? Sorry, a franchise that was notorious for never making it.
Yes, that's why that's another good comparison because it's like a cursed NBA franchise. Do you know what I mean? Kind of like the Bengals are cursed right now.
And they lost Shaq, and they just fell apart. And
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
Sports analogies are cool.
Yeah,
it's a good one. Dave.
I think that's a good end to the show, guys. Until Friday, Doug, we want to bring us out.
It's been an amazing week 2 of NFL football and week 2 for offensive. And we know that we've only been good for probably 5 minutes of the show. So shout out again to JJ McCarthy because we just love watching the Vikings score 6 points a game, baby. So, if I had to score this show, I'd give us at least 6.5. We'll see you next time on Offensive.
The wife wishes I could be 6.5.
I was trying. I was trying to make that more of